Hey guys, this is Chalee from the Traveling Couches, and I'm so excited because this is our very first blog entry for our website. I'm so excited. And with Valentine's Day just a few days away, I wanted to do a simple but absolutely delicious cookie for you guys. We are going to do thumbprint cookies, which I usually do like a raspberry jam or apricot, or you can even do lemon curd. That's one of my favorites. So if you guys are ready, I'm ready because I am starving, and my motto really is dessert first, so let's get going. First of all, we're going to start with 2 sticks of unsalted butter. What's really important is that they're softened. So if you can plan for a minimum of 2 hours to take them out of the fridge, that would be perfect. But ideally, take them out the night before because you can never plan too much. So let's get started and whirl this up. So I like to mix that first because it makes it really nice and fluffy for the sugar. So next we're going to add 1/2 cup of powdered sugar. And this, guys, is the crucial step of this recipe. Because they're a buttery cookie, this part, if the dough is not light and fluffy, once you mix these 2 ingredients together, it will ruin the whole cookie. So we want to make sure light and fluffy is what we're going for. So let's get this baby in. You want to scrape it too halfway through just so you make sure you get all those ingredients mixed up. That's key to mixing and baking. See all those little bits. Alright, let's get back to it. Alright guys, I'm scraping it one more time because then we want to make sure that we get all the butter in there so we can make it light and fluffy. And the next step is when we're going to get it to the consistency we need. So we get it all in there. And when you don't have a stand mixer, this is super important also because this guy gets the stuff kind of going everywhere. So, let's one last swirl and let's make it fluffy. There it is, light and fluffy. So you can tell by the color that it's lighter and then it's actually fluffy and delicious. And then next we are going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and hopefully it comes out. That's helpful. Then 2 teaspoons of vanilla. We're going to mix that in, and then we will add flour. Alright, that stage is super fast. You just want to make sure it's mixed in. The last step is the flour. We're going to do it in a couple steps because we want to make sure it gets mixed in. Not too much, but just enough so it combines into a ball. And side note, do not put this on too fast because you will know as tiny dwellers, we do not need that extra mess because it will go everywhere. So let's get this one in. Alright guys, a side note with this also, if you have a hand mixer, your dough is not going to mix the same if you have one of the KitchenAids. So a KitchenAid will combine this into a ball, but with these, we are going to use our hands. Manual. So just take these guys out. I don't know about you, but I don't do this with my wedding rings on. So take those babies off. We're just going to mush this up so we get into a nice ball, and then we are going to refrigerate it. Alright guys, now it's in a nice ball. You will notice it's a sticky dough, but that's what you want because that means it'll be nice and buttery. So now we are going to stick it in the fridge for 30 minutes to an hour, just depending on your fridge, until it's hard to the touch, and we will come back and roll it into balls. Another tip is if you don't have space in your fridge, just wrap it up in saran wrap and it will actually be a lot faster in the fridge for you. Let's wrap it up and put it in there. Alright guys, while that is in the fridge, we are going to make our icing, and our little ones broke out of our room and they decided to come hang out with us in color. And they're still in their jammies. But as you know me, if you watch our stories, I'm in my jammies all the time too. Alright, so for the icing, this is what's going to up the ante for these cookies, because it's not just a little powder. A lot of people do just a little bit of powdered sugar on top. I don't like that. I like the fancy factor. So this we're going to drizzle over the top once they're all cooled and out of the oven, but we'll show you that later. But to make it, we have 1 cup of powdered sugar. We're going to add a teaspoon of vanilla. And then, depending on the consistency, we're going to add, there's 4 teaspoons of water here, but we're just going to add 2 to start with. And we want it to be thick enough so it will stay on the cookie and make that nice little design, but we also want it pliable enough to come out of the bag as we're piping it. So let's get it mixed up and we'll kind of see how it's going. You want a good arm workout, guys. This is it. All right, so how you can tell it's ready is if you lift it up and it's falling, but it's not falling too fast and it's not melting into itself too quickly, because that way it'll still sit on top of the cookie and you'll be able to see it. Otherwise, it'll kind of melt in and you won't be able to see all your hard work. And I don't know if you guys saw this beauty right here, but this is like the light of my baking world. My sister got this for me. She had planned it 6 months in advance, made this vanilla, I believe, like the beginning of the year, a couple years ago. Planned for 6 months to make this for my birthday. It is homemade vanilla extract, and there are vanilla beans in there, and it is like gold of the baking world, because if you know, vanilla extract is super expensive, and you go to Costco, it's like 30 bucks for a tiny little thing. This guy, it's like it'll last me years, so it's like so special to me, and I love it. So thanks, sis. Get back to this, guys. We are gonna put this in plastic bag. If you do not have a piping bag, this works perfectly. And a little tip, you have a mug. We are going to open this guy up here, wrap it around. It'll keep it open for you. And then we're going to pour the icing in there and it'll be ready to pipe when we do our cookies.
It's cookie time! I got our dough out of the, I almost said oven, out of the fridge, and we are gonna put it in the oven. So first we need to preheat our oven, guys. We are gonna preheat it to 325. Now let's get rolling. What I love using with making cookies, cupcakes, is one of these beauties. It is a ice cream scoop, and it makes all of your cookies, your cupcakes, all the same size. We're gonna take scoops, and usually I have a smaller one, so there is a smaller scooper of this too. So if you guys want smaller cookies, just get a smaller scoop. We're gonna take little bits of cookie dough. I'm so excited, I don't know if you can tell already, but I dance for food. We're gonna roll balls, and then I'll show you what we're gonna do with them. So we'll get all the balls done first, and then we'll do the fun stuff. Here's the beauty. We are gonna make cute little heart-shaped thumbprints. Usually you would just do a thumb, or you could take a back of a spoon or the end of it and use it, because you don't want it to be like a surface print. You want to kind of make it deep so you get lots of goodness of your jelly and jams. So we are gonna take our thumb, as you hold it in your hand, kind of push it in, and then we're gonna turn it into a cute little heart. As you see, it's gonna be a little bit of cracking happening, but that's the beauty of this cookie. It's buttery, soft, and delightful. So we're gonna do this for all of the cookies. Now we are gonna fill them with raspberry jam. Alright, these babies are ready for the oven. It's set for 325. We're gonna do it for 8 to 10 minutes, but we're gonna flip it halfway through and maybe one or two more times, just depending on your oven. So our Oster oven, I check a little more often just so it doesn't burn. But are you guys ready? I'll do this. Guys, look at them. Some of them look like hearts. But this is what you want it to look like. A little teeny bit brown. And we're going to leave these on the pan for a couple minutes to cool before we transfer them to the most amazing cooling rack. I've had these for years, even living in a normal size house, and they're the best space saver. You can stack them up on top, and you can stack a whole bunch of cookies cooling all at once. So these are awesome. And we're going to transfer those in a couple minutes, and then onto the icing, which will be the end, and then we get to eat on the most favorite part. Guys, we have made it to the last step before we can eat these little beauties. So if you remember the icing that we put in the bag, I just snipped the very tip of it. You don't want a huge snip off of it. But we're gonna take this and then we're gonna drizzle it over each cookie until it is covered in goodness. There you have it, guys. That is it. You honestly could wait 5 to 10 minutes before like stacking them on a plate and eating them, but I can't wait that long. So you know what, guys? Let's go eat. Come here. Okay, guys. Babies. Come on in here. Are you ready? Oh. Are you guys ready to eat?
Yeah.
Alright, go for it. Are they good? I love you guys. You're my little Valentine. Love you, boo-boos. Alright guys, that's it. So if you've enjoyed this, let us know. We want to know all the things that you think. And you can subscribe to our vlog. And also find somebody special that you want to make these for, right guys? Your babies, your husband, anybody. And I want to know what you think of them and how the recipe went. Also, if you have any ideas on things you want me to bake, or you need tips or whatever it may be, let me know because I'm all for it. So you guys have a great day and thanks for coming along with me. Bye guys.